Delta Airlines, DL, found itself in a tricky spot when the Trump administration slapped a 10% tariff on new Airbus jets coming in from Europe. But the airline managed to sidestep those charges with a clever workaround that's keeping their fleet expansion on track without the extra cost. Their latest Airbus A350-900, fresh from the Airbus factory in Toulouse, TLS, didn't head straight to the US. Instead, it made a stop at Tokyo Narita, NRT, before officially entering service. That move allowed Delta to avoid the aircraft being labeled as a new import, which would have triggered the tariff. CEO Ed Bastian confirmed that Delta wouldn't be paying tariffs on future Airbus deliveries either, explaining that by routing aircraft internationally and keeping them on international routes, they're staying compliant while continuing to grow their widebody fleet. Delta's workaround is a smart one. As first reported by Omaiti, US Customs defines a new aircraft as one that hasn't flown any commercial flights except for test flights or direct deliveries. But if a plane flies a revenue-generating flight outside the EU before coming to the US, it sidesteps that new label and the 10% fee. Take their A350-900 with registration N528DN as an example. It was delivered from Toulouse, sent to Tokyo Narita, and then entered Delta's network without facing any import tax. Delta used this same playbook during Trump's earlier round of tariffs on European products, including planes. As long as these jets stay on international routes and aren't permanently flying domestic US segments, they're in the clear. Now, under US law, any brand new Airbus aircraft brought in from overseas is subject to a 10% tariff. But there's an exception. Models like the A220 and some A320 family aircraft built at Airbus's US plant in Mobile, Alabama, aren't hit with those charges. While some imported parts may still be taxed, complete aircraft assembled in the States are off the hook. The Trump administration had a pretty rigid definition of new, so Delta and others had to get creative. Sending the aircraft outside the EU and keeping them on international assignments is just one of the ways they're managing to avoid the extra costs. Delta's also been accepting some A220 deliveries from Airbus's Mirabel factory in Quebec, Canada. Thanks to US-Canada trade agreements, those aircraft fall under different tariff rules, further helping Delta manage costs. But this workaround isn't always simple. For larger jets like the A350-900, keeping them on international routes is no big deal. They're built for long haul. Narrow bodies like the A220, though, are usually used for short US domestic hops. That means Delta needs to get creative, maybe flying routes between Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, and the US to keep them in compliance. This strategy requires careful coordination. Managing aircraft in this way adds a layer of complexity to fleet operations. In fact, when American Airlines, AA, once accidentally used a non-ETOPS certified A321 for a flight to Hawaii, it showed just how crucial these operational details can be. Ed Bastian, Delta's CEO, has been consistent in his stance. The airline won't be absorbing any tariff costs. His remarks hinted that either Airbus is taking the hit or Delta's avoiding it entirely by changing how the jets are delivered. And the recent deliveries show they went with the latter. By working closely with Airbus and using smarter routing strategies, Delta is protecting its bottom line and pushing ahead with its fleet plans, even in a challenging trade environment. It's a clear example of how the airline is adapting quickly to regulatory hurdles and operational demands. Stay tuned right here for the latest, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media to catch all the upcoming updates firsthand.